How's it going? It's Marcus from Pazzo Racing. Today I do another do-it-yourself install video, and today we're going to do what we call the Radial Master cylinders on the brake side. It's a Radial Master. I'll show you what the difference is between a radial. So this would be a non-radial. Basically it mounts onto the bar like that, and your lever pushes on the piston in the left to right x-axis. So this is not what we're doing today, that's just a regular one. Today we're going to do this one. Mounts onto the bar like that. And the radial style, they have the piston, there's a pin that sticks out of it, and it actuates in the y-axis, back and forth, as opposed to left and right. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take you here. This is a 2005 CBR 1000RR. So this applies to many models. So if your part number, the part number is always engraved on the back of the adapter right here. This one is an F33 because that's what fits on this bike. So always check the back. I have to read my little list because there's so many. F33, F35, F88, H88, that happens to be a clutch side for Kawasaki. Then we have an R15, that's the new Yamahas, and we have an F22. So this install video applies to all those. I know I said that pretty quick, but all these numbers will be in the description below. So just check our description. So what we're going to need today to do this re-and-re is remove and replace. We're going to need a screwdriver, flathead, and we're going to need a 10mm wrench. So the first thing we're going to do, on every one, for all these models, there's going to be a counter nut underneath. We're going to take that off first. So what it is, sometimes it's a nylock nut. In this case, it's a gooseneck nut. Don't lose that. This is very important. You're going to need that again. We're going to keep that piece. We're going to take our flathead screwdriver. And we're going to turn it out. Let's make a little bit more room here so you can see a little bit better. So we're going to turn out the pivot bolt. It's almost out of there. Take off the pressure a little bit, and this thing is just going to come right out. And now, that pops right off. So here's what I'm talking about. This is the radial style. The piston works on a backwards forward axis. We call it the y-axis. This is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. So here's the pin, and that eventually ends up, there's a barrel in here with a blind hole. A blind hole is a hole that doesn't go through all the way, so it stops. It's a blind hole. And that basically fits on there. So here's our lever in comparison. It's basically the same design. We have a barrel here that rotates, just like this one, and there's a blind hole in it. So that pin has to go back into that blind hole. Now what can happen though, because this does rotate, there's a little screwdriver slot here. Say you receive yours for whatever reason, you shouldn't, but if you do, there's no hole there. You just have to turn this. There's a little line there for a screwdriver, and there's the hole right there. So this pin goes back into that hole. So this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to do it on position 6. It's easier, it gives you more room here to mount it. And then basically it goes back the same way. Oh, there's my parts list. It goes back the same way that it mounted on. So you're going to feel it go on, feel it go in, just like that. Pivot bolt. Now this should just pop in, like that, and then you screw it down. If for whatever reason you have to really push this on, like you need a lot of force to be able to get this bolt in, then what's happened is that pin is not sitting in that hole properly. That's not good. You don't want that. It has to sit in there properly, where you just want to pop it in like that. Take our screwdriver. Make sure our little thing doesn't blow away over here. A little bit windy today, so we're going to screw that back in there. Again, very important, the nut, the counter nut. As you're moving this, as you can see, the bolt moves. This now is screwing it in, but it can vibrate loose, so this will stop the bolt from coming out. So this is super important. You have to put that nut back on. So don't lose that nut. It's very, very important. So then we're just going to screw that all the way back in. And make sure that nut is tight. Tighten that up. So hold the screwdriver in place, tighten it down, and that lever's been changed. Position 1, position 6. Now these are our black and red. We think they're pretty nice. Let's clean that up here, a little grease here from my fingers. Oh, I did forget to mention, grease these areas up. Inside the hole here, contact surface here, a little grease here, grease in there, on this lever of course, not this one. But we use a synthetic super lube, we call it, white lithium, any sort of heavy bearing grease that'll do the job. It doesn't have to be this stuff. This is what we use because it's clear, it's not white or dark. So make sure you grease up all contact surfaces, the bolt, the hole, everything. So again, we've mounted up these red and black, and these are our folding version in the long. So these will also, when you're pulling on it, it doesn't really move much. But it's designed to fold on impact. And it will find its center again, so you can keep going, or it'll fold up as well. So if you have a tip over, you have just a low side on a Sunday afternoon, in the boonies somewhere, if your lever breaks, you kind of, not so much the brake, but if your clutch lever breaks, how are you going to get out of first gear, or how are you going to stop at a stop sign? So these are the folding ones. They're a little bit more than the regular ones, but if you get some rash here, you can just replace this piece. You don't have to replace the whole lever. But that's basically how you change it on the Radial Master cylinders. Again, I'll read it off to you. Part numbers are engraved underneath: F33, F35, F88, H88, that's a Kawasaki on the clutch side. It's the same principle though. There's R15, that's the new Yamaha R1s, and F22, that's for the BMWs. The 1000Rs and the 1000 double Rs. And basically that's how you do it. It's pretty simple. Just make sure you're always checking to make sure that, double check, you can always get that front wheel off the ground with a stand, and make sure that thing spins freely. The wheel has to spin freely without pulling anything on, and then you've done it right. If there's any brake drag, then this has not been mounted on it correctly. So double check that. Ride safe. If you have any questions, contact me, Marcus, sales@PazzoRacing.com. Thanks for watching.